Hello, I'm Georgie from Georgie at Home. I hope you've all had a fab week. I've been busy filming for this episode this week. It's been really crazy, but I've been trying to see all of your comments and things come through, and I haven't actually replied to any this week, but I'm going to do that today once this goes up. And I've posted out all of the Pocket Filofaxes out midweek. Each one had a handwritten letter in, which I really wanted to do, so that's why it took quite a long time for me to get them out. And they went to 5 or 6 different countries. One stayed here in the UK, and they've all gone all over the world, so that was really quite exciting. They've all gone to do their organising magic, so that's been really fun. What else has happened this week? I don't know. Anyway, we're here, we're on the sofa. It is actually Monday. This is Monday. This is today. It's happening today. So hopefully you've done your homework and you've found something to make your dividers. I have been filming this week, so we have done how to make the dividers with side tabs and top tabs, and I've done it it's just the way it came out, and I've kind of put it together ready for this to go on the front, and I've left everything on there because there were so many little tips and things I kind of scattered throughout the video, and I've just left it in there, so it is quite long, but hopefully you're going to find some things in there really useful. So it does repeat itself, it's kind of 2 videos in one, but hopefully you really find that useful. And I had a helper as well towards the end, which it kind of got a bit slow, but please make it to the end. I really hope you make it to the end. And then next week, it'll be, here we go, who's this? Hi. Hi. Next week I will talk to you about, gonna come? She's purring so loud. It's alright. You're on YouTube again. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you. Next week we're going to be talking about, we're going to just talk about, please talk to me, don't someone talk to me. Ow, ow, ow. Oh no, look what you did. Christmas. Ow. It's a Monday. It's a Monday thing. So, in this video, next week is going to be how to print your own inserts from places where you can find them for free. So I'm going to show you places you can find them for free, and show you how to do that. And then I think I was going to try and show you how to design your own, but I've got a feeling that's going to be so big, it's going to be a whole another one next week, purely because you might be able to print something and then it might not end up being something to work with. So like I have done, I feel like I needed to make something that suited me, and it takes a little while, so that's going to be a whole other video. So next week will be how to print your own from somewhere online for free, and that's it. Ever get that feeling like you've forgotten to say something? That happens to me all the time. And then the police and stuff come. That never happens. They're going to come past my house. They are. There's a fire engine. That's not good. And there's the usual stuff. I mean, I used 3 memory cards to make this video, which was not so much fun, and I had to do a battery charge in the middle, and as is true to anything that happens in anything that I film, there's just glitches and hitches along the way. But we made it through, and we're here. It's Monday, and I hope you're going to enjoy what's coming up. So yeah, enjoy. Okay, so to make dividers for your pocket, I've already started. I made a little start here just to show you. Sorry about the shadows, the sun is terrible, so I've got to have the light on. And with the camera I can't even get to the table. Okay, so I have chosen to have 5. I've chosen 5 coordinating papers. This is just scrapbook paper. You can use anything. I even remembered earlier you could upcycle stuff. I mean, I've got an example here. I could, if I wanted to, use the cover of this sticker thing if I wanted to. I mean, that could make it quite a cute. You can upcycle anything you like. So anyway, I've chosen this scrapbook paper. This is a Paper Mania Secret Garden papers. I used to make cards and stuff, so I've got loads of this stuff. So this is what I've chosen. I thought it goes quite well with the flower. It's got a kind of a garden theme. So I've done a couple just so you can see. What I did when I picked out my papers was I decided how it was going to look and which ones I wanted to use, like how I wanted to do it and how I would line up my template. Now this, I don't know if you can see because it's shiny, this is the fly leaf out of the front of the Filofax. Now what I did was I got my paper and I decided, particularly with this one, all the others are the same pattern all over, but this one, the pattern is not all over. So I wanted to work out where I wanted. Now the holes are on this side, you can see down there, the holes are down this side. I needed to work out how I wanted it, whether I wanted, I've chosen it to go there, so the holes will be on that side with this tab at the bottom. This is going to be the last tab, but you could, if you wanted to, have it that way, and you could have your tab wherever you wanted, wherever it goes in there. So the way mine is going to look is, that's going to be my back one, and then that one, and then that colour flavour, the stripy one, and then that one's going to be the front one on the front. So that's how the tabs are going to look. I've chosen to have like a dark, light, dark, light, dark. So next, I hope I'm explaining this. This kind of, I don't know, weirdly comes naturally to me, so please bear with me. So I've already done the first 2 just to show you. I'm going to be rounding off the corners, so I'm just cutting them straight to begin with, just to show you. So now what I've done, when you are particularly on this one, when you've decided that's where you want it and you've got your holes, and I've said yep, I want that there and I want my tab at the bottom, you can draw directly onto the front if you wanted to in a pencil. I always draw on the back just because I think sometimes you can rub the colour off of the paper and it leaves a mark, so I know if I do it on the back it's not going to ruin it. So you get your template, which I'm using. You can, and I've done this in other Filofaxes, I've literally used dividers that have come with it to make other dividers, and that's what I'm going to show you here, how to make the tabs on something that doesn't have a tab. So you've got your sheet of where you want it. This is just to show you how to mark it out on the pattern where you want the pattern, and I wanted it there, so I just got my template, slipped it in underneath, remembering where the holes are, and I turned the whole thing over and I drew around it. And because I want my tabs at the side, I have then, let me just get my ruler. Sorry, this is not the best ruler to be doing a tutorial with, it's to hand. Now I measured that my tabs will be 7mm, which I think is 1/4 inch. quarter of an inch. So what I've done is I just marked 7 at the top, 7 at the bottom, and then drew a line, so that you then get a 7mm panel on the side. And then to work out where my tab goes, I know you can't see that. Let me zoom in a minute. Oh, I can't zoom in while I'm recording, which is annoying. To work out where I wanted my tab to go, I chose 5 tabs, so I measured this, and I think I did it in millimetres, I can't remember now, 12 centimetres. I then divided that number by the amount of tabs, so I've chosen 5, so divide that, 12 by 5 is I think it's 2.4 or 2.5, something like that, and then I marked that on there. So when I started at the bottom or the top, you can start at the bottom or the top, I think this is the first one I did, you can see on there I made sure the measurement fits every single one, so each one of those are either 2.4 or 2.5, I can't remember. Let's have a little look see. It's 2.4. It's not going to focus, but it's 2.4. So bear with me, my brain's going at the same time. I'm not a teacher, so bear with me. Okay, so when I did my first one and before I cut my second one, I just made sure, I mean they can overlap, that's fine, but to have a gap, I don't know if it's just me, but that would annoy me. I guess it's personal preference. You want a gap, you can have a gap. I wanted all mine to be nicely together. And then just before I cut the next one out, I just make sure that that line I've drawn, there's not a gap, you know, like my measurement is accurate every time. So let me just see, can you see the line there? It's just within the thing, like it's not that way, it's just over. Okay, and so I just, because this is now the third one, we've got 1, 2, and then this is my middle one, which was really quite handy because I could just make sure that the measurement either side was the same and the one in the middle was the same. So we're just going to cut that out. A really nice sharp pair of scissors. You can always sharpen your scissors by snipping at some tin foil or aluminium foil, that gets your scissors really sharp. Just keep snipping at it. You can just go along a bit of foil and that will make them really sharp, and to get the foil right into this bit will make sure you get a full cut. I know some people that say that they are not very good at cutting out, and it took me a while to get my head around it. I kind of thought, oh, how can you not be good at cutting out? But then I realised it is a little bit of an art, and you've got to use the whole length of the scissors, and to move, like keep this hand still. This is if any of you have problems cutting out, but keep your scissors still, like the scissor hand still, and to move the paper. So if you're cutting around something curvy, move this hand with the paper, but keep your scissors really still, because I noticed that's what I do, so I figure that. Okay, so before we laminate, I just wanted to round all the corners off. As you can see, I've just done these ones. I've already rounded all of the corners, and I've rounded the corners on the tabs. I'm just going to quickly show you how to do that. So with my template, which is this, I've just rounded one of the corners just now. I can actually go around and do them all. Of course, you don't have to round your corners if you don't want to, but I really do. I saw, I think it's Winter Victorian on Instagram, rounded all of the corners of everything in her planner, and it was so cute, so I'm definitely doing that. I'm not going to do it in my A5 because there's so much in there. It would take me forever to round the corners on everything, so I shall do it in this one, starting from the beginning. Okay, so you round the corners on there. On these ones, on the top and the bottom ones, I rounded that corner, but then to round the corner on the rest of the tab, I'll show you just now how I did that. Okay, so I've used my template, which now has rounded corners on all 4 sides. You're not going to be able to see this. I'm not going to be able to hold this up close, but I will just show you. So I've lined up the straight edge on here and the other straight edge, because this is clear, it's really not a very good example, on this straight edge. So it all lines up with this tab here with my sharp pencil. It's really sharp. Okay, and then you just round off with the sharpest edge you can find of your pencil. Make a mark on that corner there. I'll show you. It doesn't zoom in, and I'm sorry about the shadows. The sun has come out this afternoon. So I'm just going to do the other side. Line it up just with my eye and round the corner. Okay, so I've just marked off those, and then I'm just going to snip. So I do the easy side, which is the side I can see if you're right-handed. Now this is where my scissor tip comes in really handy. So you keep the scissor still, and to follow the curve, you move the paper. Okay, the same on this side. Okay, I hope you can see. I'm probably holding that too far away. I don't know if you saw that. So you kind of just grab hold the paper just gently with the scissors, and then keep the scissors still and round the corner, but you're moving the paper, not the scissors. Okay, and just neaten that up a bit. So you've got beautifully rounded corners. So when we put it all in here together, how cute is that? Oh, the shadow is so bad. Let me just stand in the way. How cute, the little rounded. Okay, now I'm not going to punch the holes until after I've laminated them. So we're just going to go and do that. Just one other thing actually, which I'm not sure if I did on that one. No, I haven't. You need to rub out all of your lines. So get a really good rubber. My good rubber of the moment just happens to be really, really cute. And just rub out really gently so that not to scrumple your paper, which I did on one of these ones a moment ago. Just rub that off. Now what you want to do also is just make sure that none of your rubbings now are on any of your pages that you're about to laminate and your surface, because if they pop up in between your laminating pocket, it's going to spoil it. Okay, so I've rubbed off all of the lines, and on some of them I've kind of gone up to the edge. That's a paper burr, but this one, look, it's got a little bit on there. So I want all of those off. Now you can, obviously you could have used double-sided paper or cardstock. These are kind of a really good quality card. What I probably assume the same quality as Project Life cards, because they're paper. Yeah, so if you wanted, you could do like the same again, the opposite way around, and double them up so they're double-sided. I like mine this way. So let me just bring, I'm so sorry about the shadows. Okay, so I bring my laminator into view, and hopefully I can do this before the memory card runs out, so we can get it all in one hit. I'm going to speed up for you. Okay, so the first one, I'm not going to do that top one because that's the wrinkly one. These just happen to be photo laminating patches, so it's really, really, I'm really lucky that I don't have to waste a whole A4 sheet. Now, if you do have like an A4 sheet or a letter size sheet, just go right ahead and just put 4 in, or however you can fit them all in. It doesn't really matter. You don't need to leave a gap because you can cut straight through. You can cut right up to the edge. You don't have to leave like a little border around the outside. So my laminator is on. It's all heated up. I feel like I'm under pressure because we're about to run out of time on the memory, so we're just going to put it straight in, gently, gently, gently. This is so fun. I love watching it go in, but then fingers crossed that it comes out the other side, because recently that happened to me. we got something stuck inside and I had to take the whole thing apart because it had wrapped itself around the hot rollers. Now this is presumed, this just assumes that you've used, yes it's coming out, that you've used a laminator before, so do follow the instructions on your laminator. And it just comes straight out the other side. It's so easy. One thing I will say though is that I just didn't mention on the pocket, and I'll do another one just quickly. You feed in the glued side first. So you've got like the bit that's already stuck together. Let's take that out. It's already stuck together, and so that edge, the bit that doesn't say the open edge, is here. That goes in last, and this end goes in first. So we just wait for it to grab hold. There we go, and we just feed it in. So this is our completed first divider. Now what I'm going to do, I don't know if you're not going to be able to see because my camera doesn't zoom in, but there's like a little, you can see a little bit, there's like a, it's kind of like a bubble because it's in there. So what we can just do is just cut around it. And actually, do you know what, you don't have to round the corners first, because you can obviously punch straight through the whole thing. But I just like technology is a real nightmare, isn't it? Okay, so laminating, real easy. This assumes that you've used a laminator before, so if you haven't, make sure you read all of the instructions that come with your laminator. So I'm really lucky that I've got these are 4x6 photo laminating pouches, and you always put it in with the sealed edge first. So you've got the open end at the back, and put it in there. Okay, and then you just wait for it to come right out the other side. So once that comes out, I'm just going to show you how to cut around. Now I've always just done these ones. So you just cut them right up to the paper. You don't need to leave a little border all the way around the outside. You just cut it right up close. My laminator's not too hot, so I can take the stuff right out the back and it won't burn me, but that is something just to be careful of. That bit's hot, this bit's not so much, so just let it cool down. Obviously this is my last one, so I want to get right on. Cut so I can show you. Okay, so we're just going to start here.
You're singing, Mummy. Hello? Can I sing?
No, Ethan, stop using the phone.
Just need to turn it off.
Okay, and we're still going to cut. I'm going to cut right up to the edge. This. Keeping our scissors still. Making sure we're cutting right in. And we're moving the card. And using the whole length of the scissors to cut. That stops you getting that the little jaggedy lines you get when you cut stuff. Of course, if you, I say about keeping the scissors still and moving the paper. On corners it is really handy. Okay, I'll show you here on this corner. So if I keep my paper still and just move the scissors, so really basically you don't want to be moving everything. You don't want to be moving your paper and moving your scissors. That's my top tip for for cutting, and then we're getting right in the middle of the scissors to cut right up to that corner, and then we're coming in this way, start off a little bit of a curve, cut right into that corner. Can you see how crisp that is? You're not going to be able to because my camera doesn't zoom, but that's a real crisp corner. And then we just come in, bending up the in there with my back fingers just to cut around here. And as you can hear, I'm not home alone today. My little drummer boy. Okay, now we've got our whole set done. We can turn that off. You've got your whole set. They're all nice, shiny, laminated, and looking really, really good. So the next step is we get our template, which is our flyleaf back, and then we're going to punch the holes. Okay, so to punch holes I use my crocodile. It's the same thing I use to punch all of my Filofax stuff. You can use any regular hole punch. I prefer the size holes of this, but if you wanted to use a regular hole punch and you wanted to see where you're punching, I really recommend taking like the bottom off of your hole punch where it catches all the little hole punch confetti. Take the bottom off so that you can see the puncher coming through the hole punch, so you can see where it's going to make your hole. Like, so basically you would line that up so you can see it coming up and you can see where it's going to do the holes. But this is how I do it, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it on camera, so let me just line it up and do the first one, and then I will just lift it up to see if I can show you the second one. Okay, so that's our first hole. Now I've got our template lined on there. That's our first hole done. So let me see if I can show you.
Tell me that.
Nearly done it. Okay, so excuse me. Trying to stop the shadows. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see this. I don't know if this is going to be any use to you whatsoever. So basically, the second hole, I'm just gently bringing the handle down. Oh, bringing the handle down so that it lines up with that hole, and then punching. Oh, this is so hard to show you. Punching straight through the next one. So I'm just going to quickly go right ahead and punch the other four.
Mummy? Nothing. Nothing. Let me have a sticker, please. On.
Once I finish this. Okay, so that's your first one done. I've used the template. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the template. I'm going to just, the crocodile jumps through CDs, you know, galvanized metal credit cards and all stuff like that. So doing all of these together should be no problem, and it'll be really, 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 really quick.
Mummy, is this your super rubber?
It is my super rubber.
Like it's
You
your
can see?
orange rubber
Easy
over
peasy.
there.
That's right.
Is it for rubbing the door with?
No.
Is it for rubbing the light with?
No.
I'm
I'm just going to make sure I'm lining this up every time. I've got my helper here helping me. I'm really worried that hasn't lined up very good. So
I'm wiping this so it's clean as a whistle.
clean as a whistle. It's got a little jar of bits and bobs with some clips in.
Still.
So I'm just going to
Clean
use this.
as a whistle.
Clean as a whistle.
Clean as a whistle. I'm cleaning your phone
With
clean
an
as a
eraser. That's real
clean
handy.
a rubber.
A razor, whatever.
I'm making it so it's clean as a whistle.
Clean as a whistle.
I'm cleaning it so it's clean as a whistle. We can share one.
Oh, we can.
This one's too yucky for rubbing.
That's because it's been used.
Why are you little to use that one?
Okay, that hole hasn't quite lined up, so I'm going to just do that one again.
Can I have this one?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's your... Mike, what are you doing?
I'm punching some holes.
What is these called too?
What do you think that is?
Is that your rubber? This is your rubber and this is my rubber.
It is?
It is.
I'm sure it's not mine.
Oh, my one. Oh, mine.
Okay, so there they are. They're all done. One of them, I'm not pleased with how that one's came out.
Mummy.
Because I've got this one helping me.
Mummy.
Hi.
I dropped my one down here.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, I can get...
So basically, to finish, just add this on the back. Oh, that's good. Look, you're not even going to see it really. Here are your 5 dividers with the rounded, and then I'm just going to quickly show you the same applies to top tabs, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you that next. Okay, so now we're going to look at top tabs. You've got your side tabs. I'm just going to quickly show you how to do the top tabs. The exactly same rules apply. So I've got some coordinating paper, and unfortunately I have already rounded the corners on this. So basically, get your template, you draw around the 2 sides. Now I'm just going to have to quickly modify this because obviously I've already rounded the corners and I really want it to be sharp, so that the measurements are really accurate. So I'm just going to get it to a rectangle again. Sorry about the shadows, and that means that our measurements will be really accurate. So you can have your top tabs whatever measurement you like. I'm going to have mine the same as my side tabs. I think you could probably get away with a little bit higher, but I don't really want mine any higher than this, and this is where I took the measurement of 7mm. So that's the measurement that I'm going to stick with, so that they're all the same. Now let's do both sides. It's like 0.5 millimeter too big. Oh, there. There we go. You can also cut these out with, if you're not really particularly good with scissors maybe, and I'm not picking on people about scissors with this at all, but you can use a metal ruler and a craft knife if you prefer. Now the same rules apply with this. I've decided that I want 4 top tabs. These are going to be subcategories. So I'm taking this measurement here and just see if it's easier in inches. No, I'm going to do it in millimeters. Okay, so I have 82 millimeters. Just going to get my calculator out, which is filthy, so I apologise. 82 millimeters divided by 4. But in actual fact, I'm going to stick with that measurement. So that gives me just like 2, but I'm going to do it bang on 2 because it doesn't need to go right the way over to the edge. So 20, that's 2 centimeters. So I'm also going to start just 1 millimeter from here. Scrap that, I'm not going to start 1 millimeter from there. I'm going to start right from the edge because that's going to be a nightmare to cut once it's laminated. So I'm going to do a straight 2 here. That's the first one. So we're not going to do any of that, and then I'm just going to measure another 2 here so I can go straight down. Okay? Now, I'm going to cheat real quick. I've got 4 sheets here, and I hope this works. It probably won't because I'm doing it for camera. And if I can find what I did with my guillotine. Okay, this is an X-cut guillotine. I'm just going to put this in here. I'm going to do it this way, just to make it easier. I don't have to cut all of them individually. If you've got, again, I don't recommend doing this on the slidey guillotines. I would do this on one with a really heavy blade, just because when you've put 4 sheets together it's really quite thick. So this is spare. Now you can keep, this goes for any of the spares on the other dividers we've done. You can keep these and use them for page markers or anything. That's still useful, so you don't need to throw that away. I mean, the little bits, they're going in the bin. But I shall keep the other bits for something else. Now, the bit we've measured here, I'm going to chop away this bit, but I'm going to leave this bit to cut the tabs on the other sheet. So this is going to go straight in. Make sure they're all square, lined up nice and tight. There we go, beautiful. I'm so glad that I cheated. Okay, so on just the first one, that means all we have to do now is just measure the 7 millimeters on each of these little ones, just to get our tabs. Do the measurements separate. Can you tell I'm not a teacher of any sort? Would be rubbish, wouldn't I, as a teacher? Not particularly good video maker though, hey, with all my umming and ahhing, but it's silence or ums and ahs. Can't have it all. Can't have it all. See, look at that. Beautiful. Lines up really nicely. Let's just quickly do these. Now I don't need to worry too much because the pattern's the same, but do remember to consider your pattern direction when choosing your paper and lining up your template on your paper, because that may change the direction you want your paper to be and the way you line it up. So don't forget that. You might want to line it up so certain things on your paper either miss or are included in the tabs on your paper. The great thing about laminating is, or not, well, I like laminating because it means you can write directly onto your laminated tabs with permanent marker, permanent pen, and if you wanted to change them at a later date, you can just get a little earbud, cotton bud with some rubbing alcohol or white spirit and just rub it off. It comes right off. And you can rewrite rather than, you know, these are really, really tiny, and I only have one set of tapes in my label maker. So I'm stuck to quite a wide size, and they're really quite fiddly to chop and change. So I like to use marker pen, and I quite like my handwriting. I don't have any particularly fancy fonts that you would be able to pick up that small on a label maker. Okay, so I'm just marking out the 2 centimetre tabs for these. And then we'll cut them out. And here all of the tabs have been labelled with the categories that I want and the top tabs. I'm just going to give you a really quick flick through. I've also just want to show you I designed this fly leaf because I changed my mind of what I wanted to do with the fly leaf. I've also rounded the corners on that, so the middle, the clear fly leaf that was at the front is now going to be like a dashboard for kind of the day that I'm on, and the cover that matches I've also gone ahead and laminated, and I've just put that as a back cover just to protect some of the personal information that will be in the address section at the back. So that's what I've done, and I've also rounded the corners, so I laminated that and rounded the corners. I have rounded the corners on everything. I'm really into rounded corners at the moment, so I have rounded the corners on all of the diary pages. I've taken out 6 months because it wasn't 18 months. I've just got 6 months in there. So anyway, quickly, a year's worth of a week's per view, and then I'm going to put some monthly ones in there, so there's going to be 12 months in there, or the remainder of 2014. I've got a notes section, and in that notes section are just general notes, to-dos with the to-do pages, some goals section. The colours actually match the same colour theme in my Malden, and then wish list, which is also purple in my Malden. And then I have an info tab, and in there is just some paper, but that is going to be, I should have done an extra tab actually. I messed up my subcategories because they're all in notes, but I wanted an extra one because it was going to be like food and home, like cleaning lists, actually the other way around, cleaning and then food and shopping. My son's drinking a milkshake, and then a finance section, so I'm going to have some finance pages in there, and then all my contacts. And that is what we've got so far. So in the next video I'm going to be showing you how to print diary insert pages and design your own.